started and everything. And it was probably one of her greatest joys. And so as a son, you feel proud when you can do something like that to pay back all the dedication, all the hard work, all the driving, all the money, to get you to this point in life. You can pay your mom back. So no, moms are a special breed, and so thankful for them, and all the football moms out there listening. I was like, don't worry, it's worth it. Your son appreciates it.
Yes,
from a son talking about his mother. We appreciate you and all that you do.
No question about it. I look at Hoopy and I have such a great history together because I was the first in the family of 3 boys that went on to play at, major college, and then 2 of the 3 on to the pros and so forth. And the fact is, she was integral in all of our lives in such a way. And we're looking at the Chunky Soup commercial even now as we're talking here. But, moms are special. They are wonderful, and they are the ultimate comfort person in your life, and the fact is, if your mom makes a mean lasagna, you've got everything going on. And you would talk about comfort food and comfort bombs. It all works together.
Oh, yeah. Listen, lasagna, spaghetti and meatballs, chili. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you realize, and also lineman moms are special.
Yeah.
Because they know they have to cook for bulk.
Yeah, exactly. We're not talking about, counting calories there.
Yeah, no, calorie counting is out the window. It's like, Mom, how much more can you shovel on this plate for me? I'm a growing boy.
That's right. So to Hoopy and Max's mom, the Chunky Soup Queen, we'd say we love you. And from the locker room, even Wesley joins in, and we all throw up big hugs and everything else to our moms.
The first rule of the locker room is you don't talk about the locker room.
That's right.
The second rule of the locker room is you don't talk about the locker room.
True.
The third rule of the locker room is we always got time for the moms.
Yes, there we go.
Moms.
Respect the moms. There you go.
Addendum ratified.
We voted at 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0, unanimous.
There you go. Okay, now, moving on. The Steelers have opened the season with 2 road wins. We know that. The last time that happened was 1999, and the last time the Steelers were 2-0 was 2020. Now, the problem is a lot of people are getting all upset because the Steelers, offensively, let's go. They're number 30 in total yards and 26 in points scored. But the fact is they've scored 1 TD, 8 field goals, all that. But you know what the biggest concern right now is, Max? It's beating the L.A. Chargers. Wouldn't you say? Just beat them.
Listen, there's nothing easier. They're charged up, so now we just got to drain them. That's it. Just got to drain the battery.
Yeah, exactly. Now, think about this, because here's the point. I'm trying to get to a point which sometimes in my mind it's really, it's like sometimes it's, you're playing pool. Rack them, set them up, boom. The first one, everything goes everywhere. So the point I'm trying to get to, if I can control myself. All right, here's the thing. Denver was Mike Tomlin's 100th career 1-score win. So the man knows how to win close games. You don't get to 100 1-score wins, and I'm just talking about 1-score wins, unless you can navigate and know and trust that you're capable and that you can deliver and you can make the right call at the right time at the right moment to bring about victory, right? So you got that, and now he knows how to win, and Van Jefferson said the offense is evolving, and Arthur Smith talked about what he said when the dam was about to break. Take a listen.
Like Coach Arthur told the offense today, the dam's ready to break, man. We're right there. We're right on that edge. It's just the details. The details is what's going to take us to that next level, so just constantly working on that and focusing on that.
And that's where the game on Sunday could have just as easily been 27-6 if Pickens, the 51-yarder and 6-yard TD, weren't nullified through penalties, right? All I'm trying to say is give this some time because it's about the details, especially the third down details in the second half. But the thing is, this team, you get that feeling, and I think Troy is feeling a lot of other guys. I felt it in 89 when we were 0-2. Yeah, we got killed our first 2 games. But the fact is, you had this feeling like we're about to break out of this thing. And even with the same guys, though we lost, we won the 3rd game. And then a couple weeks later, we beat the Browns after they slayed us in our stadium 51-0. But when you turn the ball over 8 times, and have penalties, that's what happens. So the point is, I think this team is right at the point where if they can, keep away from the penalties and make sure that they still drop zeros in the turnovers department, this team could break out.
No, I completely agree, Wolf. I mean, I think about my rookie year, coming in, this is a 6-10 team the previous year that we came in. And then the 04 season, is upon us. We get, a bunch of us get drafted. Myself, Ben Roethlisberger gets drafted in the first, Ricardo Coakley in the second round. And, I can name my entire draft class.
Right. But you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. And so, there was a question about what you could do. And Tommy Maddox started the season. Win the home opener against Oakland, go down to Baltimore. Tommy gets knocked out the game, and Ben has to come in for his first playing time, not start, but playing time. And we almost win that game, we lose it, and you're like, man, what are we gonna do? Like the season, da 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 da. And then what it was. I mean, we were like, hey, we're gonna institute a ground game, and we're gonna be judicious with the football. No more than 25 passes. And we got a stellar defense, so let's lean on that. And we became bullies. And we didn't lose another game until the AFC Championship game after that second game of the season.
Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it?
Sounds very familiar when you think about it. Tough running game. And, teams loaded the box early on us. And, we went in and we said, no, we're going to be tougher. We're going to be more physical than the other team. And they weren't like these big blowout victories. They were solid wins. And we committed to the run and set up the play action pass, some quick now screens in there to the wide receivers. We still weren't really great at running back screens. So it's just been a byproduct of all the years. But, I mean, we were pretty decent. We had some good middle screen set up. And so we just charged with what we had. And it was a great year. I mean, it was a record-setting year for Ben as a rookie. The rookie win streak total was instituted and still holds to this day because of that. And it was a team environment. It was a team win. We utilized every aspect of the team to get to that record. And you think about the defense, top 5 defense. The run game was very solid with Jerome and Deuce Staley. And then our special teams, man, Jeff Reed was banging balls through, and Chris Gardocki, Papa Doc. Never had a punt blocked his whole career, from Cincinnati and then to Pittsburgh, and we were rocking on all cylinders. We had a vicious punt coverage unit and kickoff coverage unit, and they did work. Sean Morey, right? James Harrison, Clint Crewalt. I mean, we're leading the charge and we're making plays, and that's what it is, and that's what I feel those same elements here with this team. Like they're figuring it out. And they're on the precipice, like you said. Just like you said, no turnovers. Well, don't have big penalties in the game. Play within yourself and try and control the game a little bit better. And if they minimize penalties, I mean, like you said, there's no reason why this isn't a blowout victory against Denver. It isn't as close against Atlanta, right? But you have to start somewhere. And the fact that you're starting somewhere and it's not looking good and you're still coming out with victories means it's only going to get better. We've just tapped into the surface of what this team is potential of because we have all the talent at all the positions that you want to have those guys. And I think that's what makes this so fun. And I think, come Sunday, I think we could really see something that could be special brewing in the Berg.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. It's well said. Now, I would be remiss if I ended this segment, and especially since we kicked it off with moms, if I didn't tell the story about Hoopy and my brother Ronnie. Now, you got to ask him about this, Max. I don't know if you've heard about this story, but his rookie year in 1984 when he came to Three Rivers to play, my mom, it was Ronnie's birthday. She had a birthday gift for him, right? My mom, now this is at Three Rivers, she's down during the warm-ups as they're starting to exit the field. She's down on the top of the dugout. She gets up on there and she starts waving this towel, the terrible towel, trying to get his, attention as he's coming off the field. Now, Ronnie says, I could hurt. I knew. He said, I didn't dare look at her because I can't believe she's embarrassing me like this. And she's going, Ronnie! She's waving her towel. Because she wants to give him a gift to take into the locker room. Mom, you can't hand gifts off before, they're going to the locker room. Gadzooks, wait till afterwards, right? So so Ronnie's trying to avoid her, and all of a sudden he gets his hand on his back, and he gets pulled. He turns around, and it's Jack Lambert. And Lambert goes, "Hey, Ronnie, I hear mommy's calling."
Oh, my God.
He wanted to die. I'm telling you. He wanted to die right there on the spot.
Yeah, no question. And to have, of all people, Jack Lambert telling you that as a college kid. Oh, my God. I would have died, too. I would have died.
When you go, next time you're on with Ron, you got to ask him to tell that story because he tells it so much better than I do. But I got to tell you.
I will be on tomorrow, and I cannot wait because I'm doing a Lions offensive line preview for. I cannot wait to ask him about this.
It's so good. Hey, Ronnie, I think your mommy is calling you.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill him. And this is why you have big brothers. They keep the younger brothers humble.
Just keep them humble, baby. All right.
Oh man, that's priceless. That's priceless.
All right, we're gonna go to break. You're in the locker room. Yes, we have the. I'm sorry. Oh, yes, we got the cool breeze coming up here. Thank you, Wesley. All right, that fired the salvo, the opening salvo here in the locker room. You're listening to Wolf, Starks, and Wesley and all the ninjas here in the locker room, Steelers Audio Network.
We bleed black and gold. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers Audio Network.
If you love mouthwatering USDA choice steaks, tender chicken, savory seafood, and tasty sandwiches served with endless fries, then roll into a Haas Steak and Sea House near you. Enjoy their famous all-you-care-to-eat fresh soup, salad, bread, nacho, and dessert bar with 100-plus items for only $9.99 Monday through Friday, 11 to 4. That's right, $9.99, dine-in only, no other discounts apply.
Haas's Steak and Sea House. Haas's is hospitality.
Where the average Joe can buy like a pro. CGR Wholesale.
Tackle any project when you buy from CGR Wholesale Roofing and Siding Supply Center. They'll put together a game plan that's a winner every time you need materials for your project. And their new showroom is now open. Stop in to check it out and see everything you need in person. Provia Siding, Owens Corning Shingles, Trex and TimberTech Decking, and much more. They'll help you get to the red zone of your project every time. Check them out online at cgrwholesaleroofing.com.
Where the average Joe can buy like a pro. CGR Wholesale.
You win every time you buy from CGR Wholesale Roofing and Siding Supply Center. The team there is your first line of defense. They'll help you save time and money with their powerful fleet of delivery trucks. And their new showroom is now open. Score big with Provia Siding, Owens Corning Shingles, Trex and TimberTech Decking, and more. They've got everything you need under one roof to get you to the red zone. Check them out online at cgrwholesaleroofing.com. This is In the Locker Room, presented by Ford and brought to you by Acrosure, the official insurance and cybersecurity partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. By BetMGM, Huntington Bank, PNC, Pepsi, and by FedEx, where now meets next. Now here's Craig Wolfley and Max Starks.
Oh, Wolf, can you feel it? Sitting on a nice Adirondack chair, looking at the coast, feeling the cool breeze come on in.
You got white sand there, Max? White sand?
Definitely white sand. Might even have a lime in the beer to feel fancy. And you know what else?
What's that?
Jerry Dulac is brought to you by Bud Light, the official partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, if you're going to put a cold brew in your hand while you sit there and enjoy the breeze and the location, you got to have a Bud Light. And, of course, with that, you got to have a Jerry Dulac. What's up, Jerry? How we doing today?
Well, fellas, I am fine. And as you paint that picture, I'd really love to have my toes digging into the sand with the water lapping up over my ankles, enjoying a little sunshine and relaxation. Unfortunately, I'm in the south side, standing on cement, watching a train go by, getting ready to go into the locker room so I can watch practice later.
You know, the amazing thing is we're just painting this beautiful relaxation picture. Then you come along and hit us with stone cold reality, Jerry. Thank you very much.
I throw the cold water in your face, Wolf, and snap us all back to real life. That's for sure.
Yes, it is a reality check. Jerry, I want to kind of just start right out the gates. I had a signing yesterday, and, it was an elevation of Rodney Williams. Now 5 tight ends on the active roster as Ben Skoranek goes to the IR. More tight ends? No problem?
Yeah, I guess there's never enough for Arthur Smith. An old tight ends coach. He loves them. And so, yeah, he's kind of loading up on those guys. He really liked Michael Pruitt. That's why they signed him. That's why they brought him in. And it was no surprise that he made the roster. And we have seen him, get a lot of playing time. So they threw it to Pat Frymouth 4 times the other day. He caught all 4. He hasn't dropped one yet. I'm actually expecting more targets to him.
Yes.
But I think that will happen. I was just thrilled to see him throw to Darnell Washington because I've just thought when you go back to college, this guy is not only capable of catching the ball but running with the ball. And I think, fellas, I think you saw him last year. He really had problems with his knees. He struggled all year with his knees. But that doesn't seem to be the case now, and that is a big target. The thing I get the biggest chuckle out is the Steelers list him at 6'7", 264. That guy's no more 264, than I'm 110. He's closer to 290 than he is to 264.
No doubt about it.
That's a big man.
It is indeed, Jerry. And you know what? The thing that that I love that took advantage of in the red zone, in the touchdown. I mean, because let's face it, there's not a lot of room. So the only room to go is upstairs where you got mismatches like that. You get somebody that's on 6'1", 6'2", covering them. My goodness, I mean, that's a 6'7" guy that can stretch it out and has a big, huge catch radius. So, yeah, I agree with you. And that was, I thought, the perfect place to actively go and throw that ball.
Yeah, and they lined him wide, which was the best part. And when I checked with him, and I was checking with Frymouth, and
right.
that's the only time this year. Certainly, of course, they practice it, but he says that's about the only formation where he lines wide. And you put him out there. Guess what? You're going to create the mismatch right there. Because they're not going to put some linebacker out. They're going to try and get some safety. And I don't care who it is. You're in a mismatch with that guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a big target nonetheless. Wednesday obviously is a practice that's not really of note, but there was an of note of no practice, and that was Najee Harris, and just kind of he's acknowledging that he finally received the veteran off-day status. How big of a move is that, and did you hear any comments as far as about his new standing in the locker room, so to speak, and not just at practice?
Well, there's a couple things about that, Max, is that it has amazed me at this guy's durability for the pounding that he takes. He answers the bell every week. There hasn't been an issue since he's been here in terms of, keeping him down. I know he had the problem with the foot a couple years ago, but he played with that plate in his shoe. But he just keeps going. And I think more impressive than that was how at training camp, how hard he ran and how often he participated in backs on backers. That wasn't always the case with him. He went several times and he wanted to. And I was impressed with the commitment that he has made, especially coming off an off season in which, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Now, either way, the guy's playing for a contract with the Steelers or a contract with somebody else. I do believe the Steelers will re-sign him. We will see for what amount, but I do believe they'll want to have him back, next year and longer than that. But that's a story for another day. But I've been impressed with Najee Harris's commitment the entire time. And if he needs a day off or they want to give him one, to me, it's well deserved.
Think about it. He's gone over 1,000 touches thus far already, and I'd say give him a day off, dadgummit, That I think he's earned the right to. Absolutely. Now, I got to ask you, Jerry, you're around the guys, all right, several days a week. The feeling that the dam is about to break, as Arthur Smith talked about, how important is that? And do you kind of sense something? Like, as a player, you get a good feeling when you're inside the locker room and you feel it, and and you can see on film the details are there where a 2-yard run becomes a 12-yard run and a 12-yard run becomes a 30-yard run. If you just get this block or that block, or, if you don't push off, you got a 51-yard reception, which, even though I don't think it was much of a push off, but still, it's about cleaning things up. Do you think this offense is getting close to breaking out?
Well, I don't think there's any question, Wolf. And granted, the bar has been set kind of low so far. But, we saw last week, 189 yards offense, 13 first downs in the first half. That's not too bad.
Right.
That's pushing 400 yards. Okay, it's not the greatest show on turf, but I think you saw, a 12-play drive, a 13-play drive.
Yes.
You're seeing that. The problem has been, and again, it's only 2 games, so I'm not going to call it a big problem, is, they don't finish. Only 1 touchdown. Boz has already kicked 8 field goals. So, that's been what needs to happen next. And, we know there's so much attention focused during the offseason on scoring more points. And the only way you score more points is to score more touchdowns. And when you only have 1 in 2 games, and, everybody's very sensitive to it because of what they saw last year and the year before, let's face it, with Matt Canada's offense, until Mason Rudolph became the quarterback.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I do. And I'm a believer in Arthur Smith, and I do believe that each game it's going to get better. I'm certainly not one to sit there and say, "Oh my gosh, this is the same offense. It's no good." I mean, Plus the other thing too, fellas, let's not forget that you've heard me say this. I don't care if they bring in Sid Gilman, God rest his soul, to be the offensive coordinator. This is the way Mike Tomlin wants to play with young quarterbacks, and Justin Fields is that. They play this way, obviously with Kenny Pickett, and they're playing this way with Justin Fields. He said it again yesterday. His comments, you have to kind of read into his comments to what he means. But he said this is, he has a certain philosophy, and that's the way they're going to play. And that's the way they're going to play. They're not just going to let, okay, Justin Fields, go out there and open it up and let's see what you got. It doesn't work that way, as you guys well know. And so he's going to continue to play the same way. Take some shots, rely on the running game, keep the game close. Once again, don't try to win the game, just don't lose the game. That's what he believes in, and that's the way he's going to coach, and that's the way he's going to instruct his coordinators to call the game. As long as you have young, I'm hesitant to call Justin Fields inexperienced because he's in his 4th year and he's started a number of games. But he's a guy who's also won only 10 games in Chicago. He's 2-0 now for the first time in his career. He's probably feeling on top of the world after all that. But I just don't know that philosophy is going to change much at all, because that's Mike Tomlin's edict.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I mean, Wolf threw out this one great stat earlier, 100th one-score victory in his tenure. So when you're talking about these tight games, like he is
on Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike T. So I mean,
Yes. Wolf, how many hours did you stay up at night researching that one?
Oh, I didn't. Somebody else did the work. I'm just a fact checker. Well, I wasn't even a fact checker.
You were just a repeater, a regurgitator.
That's right. That's it.
Max, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize on behalf of the great state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, this is the locker room, Jer. I mean, this is what happens frequently. We always chase the shiny object in here. But, I think, and we attack the low-hanging fruit because we know it's the sweetest.
Oh, yeah.
But, just kind of just delving into that. And then, as you look at the 2-0 start, for the team. And, people kind of wonder, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We don't win games by enough points. And it's like, but a win is a win that is a win. And so, I know Arthur Smith obviously talked about the dam being close to breaking. I mean, what are your expectations for how this offense will eventually explode? I mean, minus penalties, because I think it would have exploded in Denver had we not had some plays called back or kind of killed the momentum. You talked about almost 400 yards of offensive production, but look how many yards we lost of production because of penalties. And, we would have easily been at 400 yards of offense. And I would gather at least 1 to 2 more scores in that ball game.
And I agree with you. I think, look, this is no surprise. The big plays come from number 14. And, again, only 2 games, but you look, he's the one who produces the big plays. And I think now, you don't find too many teams outside of the 49ers who have 3 or 4 guys capable of making big plays. But they're going to have to get some of that from some of their other people going forward, because eventually teams will say, look, they don't have anyone who's going to hurt us. We're not going to let him beat us, and go ahead and beat us with whoever else you have. And so I think that's the one thing that's going to need to happen, though, Max. But there is no question, George Pickens is as big a big play receiver is their NFL, and I argue maybe the best big play receiver. Maybe not the best receiver in totality, but when for making the plays, I mean, the guy really is incredible. And it's just several, it's several each game. And but I think they're going to have, some other people be capable of making big plays. We haven't seen that so far. Again, only 2 games, but I think going forward, that's what's going to have to happen.
Well, I think one of the ways that they can start is just what you were talking about earlier, and that's Pat Freiermuth. You got to cut the Luth, all right? I look at it. He's got 8 targets, 8 receptions. I still look at that. When you watch the end zone of that game in Denver, how many times in the middle of the field he was open? And then that crossing route that he caught to set up, I believe that was before Darnell Washington's touchdown, the 14-yarder that he caught on the fingertips. Right. Oh, my heavens, what a catch that was. That was a great catch and a great toe tapper. I do believe. It really. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry, but I just throw this out. I do believe you got to up his targets more. Again, he's 8 for 8 right now.
I'm with you, Wolf, and I will say the other person is. You talk about the dam breaking and getting close. Calvin Austin is going to break one of these punt returns very, very soon, and that's the other thing that is going to spark the offense, because he is a big play capable guy because of his speed. And, we see him, and, Mike Tomlin kind of alluded to it even yesterday, but on Tuesday. But, he's getting closer and closer to breaking one of these, and I think it's only a matter of short time before he does.
Well, I'll say this just in wrapping this up for me, and then I hand it off to Max, but I'll not worry about Arthur Smith unless he goes 5 tight ends, empty set, and all verticals.
Max, do they have a 15 offense? I never saw 15.
It's just a 5. It's a 0-5 offense. Right. We have no other position on there. Just say, we want the 5, the beefy 5 personnel package. Jerry, I know you got to run, and I do appreciate it as always every Thursday. And thanks to Jerry Dulac, who's brought to us by Bud Light, the official partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Jerry, I know you're going to go get some great comments and some great more content for the pregame show on Sunday, and we'll see you at the stadium.
All right, boys. I'll look forward to seeing you at the Ball Yard on Sunday. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, also, that was Jerry Dulac. Of course, I mean, Steelers insider. I guess you have to. He has the inside nuggets, and he's a great one.
I'm dancing in the locker room, Max.
Exactly. I'm dancing in my mental beach right now. But we'll be back.
These unlicensed beds, I mean, they can really slap. I tell you.
Exactly. This is one.
Wolf is up and dancing. He's 2-stepping in here.
Yeah, this is the closest you get to Margaritaville right now in Pittsburgh, PA. Right there. This right here. Close enough. I'm not going to sing anymore, but We are going to go to break. We'll
I
be
worked
back
up a
with
sweat
more.
here.
Oh, geez. All right, Wolf's going to towel off and get another gallon of coffee. We'll be back with more here inside the locker room on the Steelers Audio Network.
Your home for the Steelers. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers Audio Network.
Dad, I'm broke.
Hey, broke, I'm Dad.
Dad!
Don't you have cash saved from babysitting?
No, I spent it. I want my own bank account from S&T Bank. They offer free ATMs, online and mobile banking, and an annual scholarship opportunity. See, I'm responsible.
Hey, responsible, I'm Dad.
Visit your local branch or stbank.com for details. Again, that's stbank.com. Member FDIC.
Shopping for a new or certified pre-owned car? Think South. South Hills Kia on Route 19 in Peters Township has your deal. Brand new 2024 Kia Telluride LX all-wheel drive as low as $299 for 24 months with $3,999 due at signing. 2024 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $161 a month for 24 months with $3,999 due at signing. Lease offers exclude taxes and fees. No security deposit required. 10,000 miles a year. Expires September 30th, 2024. Visit southhillskia.net for details.
It's Greg Wolfley from my friends at Clearview Federal Credit Union. The Clearview team is here to help you score your financial goals and support our community. Clearview is always upping their game for those in need. Through Touchdowns for Hope, these pros will donate $500 to the Light of Life Rescue Mission for every black and gold touchdown scored this season. Now that's what makes a real winning team. Visit clearviewfcu.org/touchdown to learn more and open an account today. That's clearviewfcu.org/touchdown.
Just like coaches and players take a timeout to call the winning play, you must take a timeout and call 811 before you dig deep on your home or business projects. Building a deck? Call 811. Digging for a new pool or fence? Call 811. Stay safe and avoid costly mistakes. This important message is from Peoples Natural Gas, an essential utilities company. For more information, visit peoples-gas.com/safety.
This is In the Locker Room, presented by Ford and brought to you by Acrosure, the official insurance and cybersecurity partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. By BetMGM, Huntington Bank, PNC, Pepsi, and by FedEx, where now meets next. Now here's Craig Wolfley and Max Starks.
Oh, what time is it? It's that time again. Day again there. Yes, the word of the day. Always so important to expand your vocabulary. So we are doing our best here in the locker room to expand our vocabulary and yours as well. So the word of the day today is sciolist, a person who pretends to be knowledgeable and well-informed. So that would be used in an example. While he spoke confidently of the migratory habits of butterflies, I would call him a sciolist because he has no experience or education on the topic. To use it in the world of Wolfley, I guess is the best way. But well, I might speak confidently on the importance of academics and academia. Yes, I said academics and academia. I would call myself a sciolist because I have no real experience or education to back that up.
Oh, gosh. Wow, way to flip it on yourself as opposed to putting it to somebody else in the process.
You got to be truthful.
Wow.
Here in the locker room, it's about truth. We tell the truth here.
The self-deprecation is real.
The fourth rule of the locker room is accountability for all.
That's right.
Yeah,
journalistic integrity.
That's right, to keep the journalistic integrity going. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see. When I listen to a lot of Steelers media that never played the game, they seem to be sciolists about what the team should do. There we go. Boom. There we go. Not directed at anybody, but if you take offense, well, that's you then.
The Cleveland Browns fan was very sciolist as he tried to argue that Myles Garrett belongs in the same conversation as T.J. Watt.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. A lot of different ways to use the same word. Boy, you know what? You guys should really do this on a show sometime. I mean, it sounds really good.
No doubt about it. Look, You know, the beautiful thing about it is in the locker room, if you can share this with the folks, you know, is the fact that a lot of fun is had. You know, besides the goofing around and stuff like that, there are great conversations and moments where it's just really a lot of fun. That's why I really believe heavily in the sign on the wall that says what you see here, what you say here, what you do here stays here when you leave here. And I think it's so important to keep a lot of stuff between the four walls because we don't need to, see how the hot dog is made. You don't need to know all the ingredients. You don't need to hear some of the stuff that goes on. It's just about, hey, it is what it is, and it's a great place to be a guy, hang out.
And, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
There you go. So, I agree with that. You know what I mean, Max?
No, I completely agree, Wolf. And there's a certain level of sanctity with the locker room. It's a protected space for players, and individuals who are under the public eye. You're under scrutiny constantly about everything that you do. And now in the digital age where every cell phone becomes, a journalistic opportunity for a lot of people, this is an area where it kind of goes into that black hole zone, right? Right. Guys aren't doing that stuff, even though we had a couple that did it over the years. But it's by and large a place where you can have a place where you could take a breath. You can be yourself. You can let your hair down, and you can just be normal. And you don't have to worry about everybody judging and hanging on every word that you say, or every single action. Has some type of commentary to it, and that's why I think you have to uphold that. You have to protect that space and allow people to be people. And when you get to do it in this environment where you're kind of forcing 65 guys plus into this space to do those type of things, there's going to be certain frictions, but you can figure those things out. And there's going to be a mutual shared experience that's created as well, and a bond that can't be broken. No matter what the situation is, you can always rely on those guys in the locker room. And I know you feel that way, Wolf. I feel the same exact way about my teammates.
Right.
And there's when we see each other, we don't have to see each other every day now because we spent days upon hours upon days upon weeks upon years together, that I don't have to talk to you every single day of the week to get to know how you're doing. We can check in 2, 3, 4 times a year, and it's like time never passed, and that we picked up right where we left off, and that's a special thing to be said. And when you adhere to those things, that's what builds tight locker rooms.
Yes,
that's what builds brotherly bonds for life. And I don't look at those guys as just my teammates. I look at them as my brothers, right? They're uncles, to my kids, and that's just how it has to be. And the way that I'm proud that it became that, because you police yourselves and you hold an accountability to those other guys. Above all else, you have to hold a certain responsibility to the organization and, of course, to the coaching staff. But the ultimate responsibility outside of self is in the man next to you and the man across from you and the man that's behind you. You have to, it's all encompassing. All the guys in the locker room, have to be accountable to each other. Most importantly, I'm not going to say it's first, but it's most importantly, you've got to be accountable to them, and you take care and you protect each other and you help each other out. When the other's having a tough time, you lift him up. Right, you don't leave a man behind in that process.
Very much so, and it's important what you're saying. And I remember the great Joe Green, and I've told this before, and I'll tell it again though, because I believe in leadership in the locker room. You call it the locker room elders, which are the guys that really kind of set the tone. But Joe Green, I remember my rookie year standing up and bellowing in the Three Rivers locker room, telling us rookies that the lighting at Confetti's, which was a nightclub, is not sufficient to study your playbook by. And Joe's making a point, is he not? A very pointed point, right? He's telling you got to get home. You got to be ready to go on game day. And the preparatory period is just as important as the actual period that you're going out on the field. You've got to prepare. And if you don't, you're failing your teammates. And he let that be known.
Well, and here it is. It comes down to this phrasing. If you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail.
Oh, wow. Man, that's a whipsaw right there.
Yeah, right there. Seesawed right back and forth. And that's what it is. And that's where that accountability comes in. Can you be accountable if your brother says, hey, man, what'd you do last night? You're not. Are you going to lie and say, you know what, I was in my playbook till exactly 10:26 p.m. last night, and then I slumbered around 10:30 to only wake up at 4 a.m., get myself a workout, work my way to the stadium, and be ready and prepared for this day. No. Not everybody's angels.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at your brother and you see one guy's prepared and the other one isn't, you have to take a self-check in the mirror before anybody else calls you out. Because by the time they call you out, you're on your way out. And so that's something that you have to be very cognizant of, right? And I think that was kind of just a microcosm of that. The way that Joe put it was that, hey, man, you can't burn the candle on both ends.
Right.
One has to take precedence over the other. And I'm sure he wasn't saying, take out the fun. You can't do anything. You can't live your life. You're an adult male. You know what I'm saying? You're a grown man.
Right.
You can do that. But also understand you have a responsibility. So if you're going to go do that, make sure that you're also showing up with that same vigor, to the facility. And that you're bringing it to the turf. And that you're bringing it to, the stadium. Then Three Rivers. Now Acrisure. Right? That must carry that mindset of understanding what sacrifice looks like and what the responsibility looks like. You bring that to the table first and foremost, and then with the extras and the leftovers, you can then go do the other activities, but you must put in the work to get the result.
Absolutely well said, Max. All right, that's a wrap on the first hour. We'll come back with the second hour, which is the Power Hour. Right here, you're listening to Wolf Starks and the Ninjas on the Steelers Audio Network.
Steelers football happens here. The Pittsburgh Steelers Audio Network.
At Northwest Bank, we're here for what's next. The next place to fill with love and laughter, with more mortgage options for first-time buyers. The next backyard patio party host, thanks to lines of credit with competitive rates. Even the next thing to check off your to-do list, with home equity loans that let you refinance high-interest debt. Our home lending solutions can help make your dream home a reality. Northwest Bank, for what's next. Visit northwest.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you're looking to play, Bet Rivers will make your day. Take a chance, you'll see. You like slots, we've got lots. Blackjack, roulette, take your shot. It's where you want to be.
Bet Rivers Online Casino is your home for chance. With hundreds of slots, live table games, and more. Bet Rivers Online Casino. Check out the app.
Take a chance.
Must be 21 plus and physically present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is In the Locker Room, presented by Ford and brought to you by Acrisure, the official insurance and cybersecurity partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. By BetMGM, Huntington Bank, PNC, Pepsi, and by FedEx, where now meets next. Now here's Craig Wolfley and Max Starks.
Don't you just feel that electricity? You feel the power. I can even smell the diesel as it rolls by in 3D visual reality that it is, because it's not virtual reality, it's just a visual reality. You got to paint your own picture here. But most importantly, that is now the new sounder for the Power Hour here inside the locker room. And I'm ecstatic. We came up with that idea, and boy, tell you what, Ninja Wes over there made sure that he Ginsu'd it up for us to have that. So now for hour 2, it will live in perpetuity. What was that sound again, Wes? Wolf, get out the way. Get out the way. The air brake is gone. The air brake is gone. I had to pull Wolf back. He was on the side. He was on the side of the road here, But no, I mean that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I love it. I love it.
That was your idea, Max. I appreciate you giving me the credit, but
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, an idea is only good as the implementation. So, I appreciate your implementation of said idea.
And you know what? I like to think, too, that the three of us, Max, Wolf, and Wes, we're kind of like Mr. Rooney, Omar Khan, and Coach Tomlin. We're like one beat, one voice. Every decision we make together. When we succeed, we all succeed. When we fail, we all fail. There's no individual, I did this and he did that and he said that. We make the decisions together.
Yeah, but I want to be Coach T.
That is true. I don't want to deal with salary or actual big responsibility. So we have 3 Coach T's in here, and we're still looking for the Omar and
still not
Mr.
telling you
Rooney
how we make the hot dog.
Yeah, right.
We're still not saying it.
But I'll tell you how we eat the hot dog. One bite at a time, baby.
That's right. Grill marks preferred. Not gonna say anything else about it.
Chili on it.
By the way, I got to say this. My dad was a trucker. Okay, he had his own trucking company. I actually got to drive. My first time I drove a semi, I was 11. Yeah, I was putzing around in a ginormous truck stop. My dad took me out there and taught me how to do it. And then I had to wash his trucks. He had a garage down there, and in Buffalo, New York, in a semi non-heated garage in the winter, washing a semi. Oh, let me tell you something. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. It was on Saturday. I had to do it every Saturday, right? So then when it's like December, I'll never forget watching like football games on Saturday afternoon after I got done washing the dadgum truck. And you'd see like USC. And I'm sitting there ever freezing for like 2 hours while I'm washing that truck, right? And I'm sitting there watching. I want to go play in California. I want to play football. I can go anywhere. Not here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it takes a special mindset, Wolf. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It takes a special mindset to want to deal with the elements because you can run to a dome.
Yeah. Yes.
You can run to a climate-controlled environment.
Right.
Where everything is copacetic and consistent day in and day out, game after game. But then you realize all the teams that did not have domes are now playoff teams. And then you realize, you know what? I wish we would have went outside a little bit more.
I'm telling you what.
I never had to worry about that personally.
Yes, I know.
My time with the Steelers. Yeah, because between Coach Cowher and Coach Tomlin, both of them loved a good snow practice.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, we're going outside. If we're playing outside, let's play in the elements. That whole mumbo jumbo. And then, of course, when it's 5 feet of snow, it's like, all right, take it to the indoor bubble.
I remember one time, Tunch, myself, Mike Webster, and I think I'm not sure if Colby was in on it or not. We chased down Lynn Swan on a practice at Three Rivers, and we stuffed him full of snow. We crammed it up the jersey, under the shoulder pads, everything, man.
Just defiling a Hall of Fame.
We almost had Stalls. Stalls outran us, but we got Swan because I think he was hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Had a little hitch in the giddy up. Yeah, exactly.
Man.
It's like he was like a NASCAR driver, just started making nothing but left turns and got caught.
Oh yes, exactly. What a great receiver he was, though. He was phenomenal. And what a great teammate he was. He was just phenomenal, and he was just, I don't know, one of those guys that just picks you up. He truly was a great player, and what a Hall of Famer. And John Stallworth was the same. Stalls was so funny because, he just kept things light. But just again, another great performer, another great player. Loved the guy. Absolutely loved those guys. They were great.
Steelers have a special way of picking the wide receiver position, don't they?
They do. Think about the great ones.
Yeah.
Go to Hines. Yeah.
I was about to say, that led me into my next thing. 8 members of the Steelers are up for the Hall of Fame again this year.
Wow. Okay.
And
who's that?
All right. So, you know what? Let me tell you something. So as wait a second. The list just went off. Great. Hold on. I had an update on my.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
I got it.
There it is.
Got it.
No, next one down. Nope. No, 2 up.
No, not that
See
one.
Hines
Not
Ward?
that one either.
There you go.
Here we
There
go.
you
No. So you got Hines. You have James Harrison. You have James Ferrier.
Yep.
Potsy.
Yeah, Potsy. Pot dog. Pot dog is what.
Oh,
is
that
what,
was.
is what we
I
call
was
it.
wondering who that was. I'm just looking around here, going.
Potsy.
Yeah. Okay, Potsy.
Yeah. Who is Potsy?
Now say the next
I
name.
am Potsy. No. All right, and then we also have, as I'm looking through this, Mike Vrabel. Well, Casey Hampton's on there too. Yeah.
How about Hamp?
Okay, I can't saying this. Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, we have Casey Hampton also up for it. Mike Vrabel is one who spent, his time initially with the Steelers, and of course we know him as a New England Patriots. Blah blah blah. We also have John Kuhn making the list.
The fullback.
That's right. Even
Shippensburg.
though he's better known for his time with the Green Bay Packers, and
Right.
he's also a sideline reporter like myself. Brush with greatness there with old Kuhn back there.
You are a sideline non-combatant. Don't ever forget that, Max. That's the title I leave you. I was the first sideline guy, and I refuse to be a sideline reporter. We are sideline non-combatants, baby.
Yep. I mean, listen, we take great pride in what we do, and then of course we can't forget Gary Anderson.
Yes.
Famous Gary. It's been 13 of his 23 years with the Steelers, so you got to put him in there. I mean, listen, that's a pretty good list that's out there. And now remember, obviously it'll get whittled down. The first list that's our guys out of 167
right.
Guys on that list. It'll whittle down to 50 later this fall, and then the 25 semifinalist list will be the next cut down, in like December, and then 15 finalists before that pre-Super Bowl meeting that the alumnus have, or I should say the HOFers have, not just alumnus. The Hall of Famers, the Gold Jackets, will get together and figure out who, and that number can be anywhere between 4 and 8 players that could be enshrinees. I want to say also on this list, the first year guys, that this is the competition, and two of these guys I definitely think most likely will definitely be first ballot guys. Eli Manning is up as well for his first year of eligibility. Marshawn Lynch is up as well. Darren Sproles, I don't know about that one, but Darren Sproles is up for the first time, and then Terrell Suggs, and then of course Demaryius Thomas, Bebe Thomas, who, of course, we saw on Sunday. Emmanuel Sanders sporting his jersey. A lot of on the field tributes for Demaryius, who was a tremendous man. I knew him as a snot-nosed prospect coming out of Georgia Tech.
Right.
And I remember his combine. He trained at our same facility. And got to know him really quickly, and an amazing soul. Anytime, I saw him, we'd both light up, give each other a big hug, ask how we're doing, and just a tremendous kid. And sad to say that he's not here to enjoy the fruits of his labor,
right?
Because I know he would be truly appreciative of that. But I would be remiss if I didn't say anything about him, because he was a great dude. We trained together for years, and just a special young man. So all those guys are up. So I have a feeling that of that, I think I named 3 of the guys who are going to be in, and one of those being one of the guys that I did battle with. Oh my gosh, so many times over my time in Pittsburgh, and Terrell Suggs. You have a feeling he's going to be going in there, and not an uglier individual to go in there and put and make a bronze bust out of. But
let me just say this: as I count it, there's 7 guys with Steelers ties, right? And you said how many go in? 4 to 8.
4 to 8.
Oh, we're good. No, we're good. All right, we're all good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got 7 to 8 guys with ties to Pittsburgh, and there's only 160, 59 other ones after that, you know?
Right, but,
small,
you know.
small list. We'll pare down. You have to remember, Hines and James made it down to the semifinals last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, the biggest argument is going to be, obviously, you know, how many receivers do you let in? How many defensive players do you let in? You know, and I think, you know, and especially with the rest of that list, like Eli's already in. Okay, he's a Manning. He got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he beat Tom Brady out for those.
And he did it in the New York market.
Yeah, and he survived the New York market without any scandals or anything like that. Like, you know, kudos to him. Kudos to Eli. That's a 2004 draft class member as well. I played against Eli in college. Hated him then. Hated him in the league.
He's a funny guy,
now I'm celebrating. Oh, no. Here's the thing. Everybody always talks about Peyton being like the funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
Eli is hilarious. He is stereotypical little brother.
I interviewed him one time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I interviewed him and Archie. Have not interviewed Peyton. So that was, but that's the one Manning that got away. But the two of them, that was just a lot of joy. I'd love to had the chance to interview Peyton at some point in time, just because, you know, I love their commercials when they're doing stuff together. The brother act is too funny.
Oh, it is. And then the one when they had their dad in there, they were arguing.
Exactly.
Where they're touring the studios, and they're like giving each other wet willies and like kicking each other in the butt. So good.
That was just good.
But you could just see like that is purely unscripted. Right?
Yeah.
That I could feel like growing up in the Manning household, that's what it was. And then you got Cooper just saying, "Hey, knock it off. Knock it off, guys." You know, and,
I forgot about Cooper. Yeah,
exactly. And here's the thing. And his son Arch, you know, Arch is ridiculous. He played last Sunday for the first time when Quinn Ewers got injured for Texas.
Right.
Whew.
I heard he lit it up.
Yeah. He is in the gene pool. He is in the gene pool. I'll tell you that. Except for he's a lot faster than his uncles. I will say that.
That's funny.
The kid can run. He is mobile. His uncles not so much. Not so much. When you saw Peyton running, it was like watching a brontosaurus run when it felt danger. You know what I'm saying? In prehistoric times. And Eli had a little bit more wiggle, but Eli was still, you're like, just stay in the pocket, bud. You know, just throw it away. Don't even try and run. And still, you might still get negative yardage, and you might have ran 20 yards, but they weren't forward. So, but Arch is definitely a different thing. But no, I say all of that to say, I mean, this is a great list to be considered for. And, you know, that's the one thing you do have to fight, right? The longer you're on this list, the harder it is to get in. And, you know, I feel like one of our guys has to get in.
No question. Look,
between the, now I know Casey won't, you know, just because nose tackles aren't respected because of the stats and everything. So people tend to have a bias to guys who collect stats. But I mean, talk about a meaningful member of the steel curtain defense, you know, that was reestablished in the early 2000s, you know, with him in the middle of it. I mean, you know, doing his best impersonation of a boulder, you know, in a live action drama series that is the NFL season. You know, he was just, I mean, a stout rock, but you know, he's probably got the toughest hill of all of them. James Ferrier probably has a tough hill too. Just because that middle linebacker position, even though you think about the times he led the league in tackles one year, he's been to multiple Pro Bowls, like he has a Super Bowl cachet and resume. I just think they're always looking for those crazy, you know, linebacker numbers versus quality and just voluminous linebacker numbers, which I think, you know, James did a really good job. I cut you off. What were you about to say? Sorry.
You know what? I forgot. But I will say this. One thing I always appreciated about Potsy was when Mike would say he's the alpha male in the room. You know what I mean? On that defense. And he's the guy. And I thought that was so great. You know, and then you look at a Casey. That defense in your era was just ridiculous with people that could just stuff the run, rush the passer, what have you. All those guys were just really terrific. And, I mean, we're not even talking about Larry Foote. You know, we're not talking, you know, about some of the guys that you know, rode below the surface of that defense. I mean, because everybody, people were great in that era. Chris Hoke was 17-1 as a starting nose tackle for the Steelers when Casey couldn't, and Hoke will be the first to point that out, That's
Hokie is never shy on a self-compliment. Gotta love Hokie, bro.
Oh, Hokie Bro's the best. Bro. Yes, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But, and it's true. You had somebody like Hokie who was a bubble boy when he first came, and it was a hard ride for him. He every year had to make the team in a tough way, it seemed like, because it's just when you slug him out things. And John Mitchell, I remember